Okay guys, in this video I'm going to show you a few things about coloring, which sounds a little bit elementary, but I promise you it's not. I actually did not learn this until I was an art educator, which is crazy considering I went to college for art. But you learn so much about color and the coloring wheel and analogous colors when you do things like this. So I think it's a really good thing to start off with kids of all ages, or yourself. I'm sure you would enjoy this too. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I suggest looking up a color wheel online and just search color wheel and talk to your siblings, or if you're doing this with yourself, figure this out yourself, or your children. First thing you want to do is, looking at the color wheel, line up your colors, and you don't have to use every color in the rainbow. Just line up your colors based off how they are found in the color wheel. So you've got the orange fading into the yellow, into the green. So you could just use those, or you could add even more color if you wish, depending on what colors you want to use. Don't forget about white. I'm going to talk about that later. But it's crazy how so many people do not know what the white color pencil or crayon is for. And I always just assumed it was for darker colored paper, but it's, that you can be used for that. But there's also uses for blending colors as well. So I'm going to show you that. All right, so the actual activity would be just to practice what I'm going to show you here on just plain white paper or line paper. You can practice this in an actual coloring book, and then ultimately it would lead to practicing this on your own drawings. So you can definitely have create a drawing, or have your sibling or child create a drawing, and they can do this in there. All right, so depending on what color you want to start with, you're going to start by creating a value scale. All right, so a value scale is where you create dark, medium, and light. And you do that just by pressing harder, not quite as hard, and then slowly picking up your hand until it fades away. That's a value scale. You can do that with pencil as well. And then you're going to pick up your analogous color. Analogous colors are colors beside of each other or close to each other on the color wheel. So it's a very similar color. You're going to pick up a similar color, and where you started getting light, you're going to press dark again. And that's actually, just like mixing paint, that is going to blend your two colors together and create a new color. So you'll have red, and then you'll have a reddish orange, and that will fade into solid orange. When it becomes solid orange, you are going to create your orange value scale, and then go in with your next color. So wherever that is, wherever you started picking up your pencil. All right, if ever you see a line, okay, so see how I can kind of, those colors didn't quite fade that great. There's a line there. Let's say you don't want that. You can go back over it, not pressing hard at all, with the darker of the two colors. And that will help blend and fade that line a little better. All right, so into the, to why we have white colored pencils. And this is going to be a little hard to see, so you're going to have to just kind of hear it and then try it out on your own to be able to see a really good example. But if you press down really hard, then medium, fade it into light. This would be your shadow, your mid-tone, and your highlight. You can go back in. This is a highlight also of orange. Yellow is a highlight of orange because it's a lighter color. But let's say that you don't want it to have yellow in there. You want it to just be a lighter orange. That's what the white is for. So you should never really be able to see the white paper showing underneath. You should always have a dark, pressed down color. So you're going to actually press down really, really hard. I say really, really hard. Don't rip your paper, but press down. And I'm not sure if you can see it in the video, but it will blend. It's almost like a blending tool. It will go over and blend your color. So now, instead of just having not as much color on there, you actually have a lighter orange. So you're actually mixing the white and the orange. So kind of think of it as mixing color with paint. All right, so you actually learn a whole lot with this. When you move over into your actual project, so whether it's your own drawing or if you're going to practice this in a coloring book, try to think, so looking at your object, try to think where would the highlights be, and then where possibly where the shadows be. So let's just say, and I'll do this with a different color. Where's my color pencils have rolled all over the place here, but I'm just going to do this with two different colors of blue for my highlight, my shadow. So let's say there's going to be a shadow down here. Color really, really dark. And fade it. And then you would go over it with your lighter color or your white. You can always use white. Alright, and that's going to create like your shadow effect there. You can get an even darker blue or even a black. You just, have to be careful with black because it's not very similar. And you can go in and make it an even darker shadow. Just like you've done with the white and the highlight, you can do the shadow with black and it almost makes like a navy blue. Alright, so the challenge is to practice coloring, no matter what age you are. Practice creating the different values of the same color. That's the dark, the medium, and light of one color. Practice blending analogous colors. Those are similar colors. Try blending those together. Try using your highlights and your shadows, your tints and your shades of colors. And try using those words when you're talking about it. So I'll put a link in there with the definition of some of those art words that I used. All right, I hope you enjoy.